Hello everyone, in this TRICAR tutorial number 37, we will review the lead forest triode invention, which will allow to do the first signal amplification. We will also have a look to the competition between solid-state electronics and vacuum tube at the beginning of the electronic history. In 1906, Lee de Forest and Robert von Lieben independently patented a vacuum tube with a third electrode to be able to control the current. We did not wait too long, only 2 years between the Fleming diode and the triode invention. Each patent was very close, March and October 1906 for respectively Lieben and de Forest. De Forest named his invention the audience. The one which became the triode was patented in January 1907. When the cathode is warmed up to 800 degrees Celsius, orange color, electrons get out of the solid. If the grid is negative compared to the cathode, the electron comes back to the cathode. If the grid is positive with respect to the cathode, the electron go towards the grid and reach the plate. So by controlling the gate voltage relative to the cathode, we can control the electrons flow. On the bottom left, you can see a 3D view showing the tube internally with the heater filament, the cathode around the heater, then the grid, the plate and the glass tube. Unfortunately, the first vacuum tube had some issue because the vacuum was incomplete with some gas at low pressure inside the tube. Von Lieben vacuum tube did not see too much development because Lieben gets the bad idea to die 7 years after its invention at the beginning of the First World War I. So Lee de Forest is more known as the triode inventor. The triode was not used too much until its ability to amplify was recognized around 1912. This means that 5 years spent between the triode invention and the time we realized that we can use the triode as an amplifier. The many uses for amplification motivated its fast development. The name triode came later to distinguish with other vacuum tubes development as tetrode, pentode, etc. Here we can see the anode current versus the anode to cathode voltage VAC. When Vg equals 0, the current IA is almost linear with the VAC voltage. When Vg becomes more and more negative, the IA current is more and more blocked. With a load of 100K attached to 300 volt, the maximum current is 3 mA if VAC equals 0 volt. And if VAC equals 300 volt, IA equals 0 amp. See the black dotted line. Now we can plot the gain curve VAC versus Vg. At Vg equals 0, VAC equals 100 volt. At Vg equal minus 1 volt, VAC equal 170 volt. At Vg equal minus 2 volt, VAC equal 225 volt. At Vg equal minus 3 volt, VAC equal 260 volt. And at Vg equal minus 4 volt, VAC equal 300 volts. With those values, we can plot the nonlinear red curve. The gain can be estimated at minus 66 between Vg from minus 2 to 0 volt. This means that for a 2 volt gate variation, I will get an output variation of 125 volt. Around 1913, AT&T company purchased the right of the Odeon patent at De Forest. Harold Arnold, working at AT&T, developed an improved version with a better vacuum. This was the first vacuum tube triode. What is really interesting is that for the first electronic components, the rectifier or diode, both solid-state electronic with the galena rectifier or the thermionic emission with a Fleming diode was available at the same time, and even the galena diode was there a little earlier, 1901 compared to 1904. So both components were in competition. But this competition has stopped at the first electronic component because the second one, the triode, able to do an amplification, had no competitor in the solid-state electronic for several decades. Only Julius Edgar Lilienfeld claimed a solid-state amplifier in the middle 1920s. Its patent describes a field effect transistor principle, but high-quality semiconductor was not enough at that time to realize this type of component. So, nothing to compete with vacuum tubes for the next 40 years until the transistor invention. So, for decades, vacuum tubes dominated electronics. I want to thank you for your attention. On my next TREC car tutorial number 38, we will talk about the limitation of the vacuum tube, especially with the development of the first computer, and the beginning of the research in the solid-state physics. So see you soon and stay tuned.